We're picking it up again in Romans chapter 7, verse 2. Reads as follows. For the woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of her husband. Some people would read this and they'd say, okay, this means that the woman is subservient to the man, and she is bound to him and his law. That means a man can abuse a woman, or a man is in charge of a woman, or a man stands at the head and a woman stands behind. And that is utter rubbish. You are not understanding. If you think that's the case, you do not understand the laws of God, and you do not understand the ideas of kingship and queenship with the Lord. Let me try and explain it in a manner that would be very clear. For those who follow Christ, for those who see him as a man who was without sin, who died and paid the price for everyone else's sins, and then was resurrected and restored to his perfect frame because he finished the job that was required of him. Not only the atonement, but the resurrection. So he can save you, me, and all of us from sin, error, foolishness, and even death, because he paid the price. Let's assume for one moment that you believe that's true. If he set the example and lived without sin and was perfect in his walk, and imagine for a moment what he did for those who accused him of being a follower of Beelzebub, those who accused him of following Satan, those who called him a false prophet, those who ridiculed him, parted his raiment among them, and spit upon him and said, if you really are who you say you are, you'll come down from the cross. They mocked him, ridiculed him, judged him, and ultimately killed him. And what did he do? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He taught the truth boldly during his lifetime. And when he was accused and when he was beaten, he simply submitted and he forgave them. He even taught that if you want to receive forgiveness, you are required to forgive all others. You see, Christ kneeled and served others. Kneeled and washed his disciples' feet, something that not even a slave was required to do at that time. And yet he did it because he's teaching you a principle. If you are to be like him, the real king that we worship, you will kneel and serve and bless others. You will acquire his virtues, patience, meekness, love unfeigned, suffering for the long period of time to show to others that you love them, you care for them, and your bounds are set by love. And that they can abuse you, ridicule you, spit upon you, take advantage of you, and yet still you will patiently forgive them, love them, and pray for them that God will bless them. Because you understand that it's possible. There's a chance that they will repent and come to Christ. You see, that is the type of man and the type of woman that you should be. You should be like your Lord. And that's what he's talking about here. If you're married, that's how you ought to be in your marriage. You ought to be willing to forgive and willing to love the other while they're alive. And what Paul's teaching is that when someone dies, then yes, while we're in this mortal probation, if your spouse dies, you are then free to marry another. But while you're alive, be loyal, faithful, and true, and be a servant to your spouse, because that is what real kingship, real queenship is all about. Loving those who perhaps aren't worthy of love, but you will have mercy upon them, because your Lord has mercy on you. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks for watching.